Hi, I'm Smita Sharma, a Delhi based photojournalist and visual storyteller, focusing on critical issues related to environment, gender, social issues, and human rights. At this stage of my career, I think I prefer working on longer, a little deeper assignments. The project We Cry in Silence, where I've documented cross border trafficking of underage girls in South Asia, in particularly India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. And then, finally, the book was published as We Cry in Silence with photo evidence. It's a multilingual book in English, Hindi, and Bengali. And through the campaign, I have donated copies of these books to school and college libraries. I've also donated copies to many of the police officers, many of the non-profits. I've donated to a couple of libraries, and there is many places where I've donated copies of the books. Some of them are also using it for to educate. Meeting survivors and sharing the stories is a huge responsibility. There are girls and women who have horrible, horrible circumstances and situations that they have undergone and still undergoing. So, just the mere fact that they agreed to meet you, share their lives, share their time is a huge, huge responsibility, and I'm really grateful for that. And again, even if I'm carrying my cameras, I don't take it out. I just keep it. I just meet the girls or the women, spend time with them, just talking, chatting with them about daily life. Sometimes I share even about my own story, about my own family, about my own life, because they are curious. They want to know who I am, what do I do, how did I get there, how did I become a photographer. They ask all that questions, especially the girls, and I just talk to them. And one of the things that has happened with me multiple times is that many of the survivors of trafficking that I've met, they've told me that, you're the first one who has spoken to us normally. Because people either look at us with pity, or sometimes they just look at us with disgust. And we really appreciate that. And I think that was a big honor. That's a big gift that they had given me. um, Again, survivors and the trauma is again different. People are different. So I do not ask questions. I let them open up. Again, it takes time. Patience is the key. It takes time, but finally, when they're ready to open up, I ask them questions, and slowly they share their lives with me, one by one. Sometimes some of the girls that I've met, they talk a lot, and they are pretty open about what has happened to them. But there have been certain situations which has been very difficult, where the girls were so much in trauma that it was very difficult to even communicate with them. They would start crying, and you don't want to re-victimize them. So again, it's a very I think the line is very you have to be very careful, the words that you choose, how you ask the questions. Sometimes you don't even ask questions, you just sit there and talk to them, and throw the ball in their court. You want them to open up to you rather than you asking them questions. What is the first thing that I say to them? I mean, it's not a common question that I write and I take with me. It depends on the conversation that we are having. Again, every person, every woman is different. If we are talking about food, then maybe I will start off with a conversation about, did you get enough food when you were there at the brothel? Did they feed you well? So the conversation will start from food, and then it will go about how the trafficking happened. So there are different cues that you use, different ways how you start the conversation. If they are not comfortable talking about it, then you just stop. Then you divert the topic. But how you start the conversation is not directly like, let me just tell me, how are you trapped, or why did you run away with that man? Did you know that he didn't want to marry you? These are not questions that you ask. You ask them in a very different way. But again, interviewing survivors is an art, and it's a challenge. It's an art, and again, you learn every day. I learn something when you talk about underage survivors of sexual crimes. it's not easy. You're not supposed to photograph them. There is a law called POXO, which is Protection of Children Against Sexual Offences Act, according to which you cannot identify them in any way. Even if the house is identified, that can be a problem. So I had to be very careful. And obviously, I think in my work, shadows play a very important part. Light and shadows both are very critical. And I do not believe in taking silhouettes where you don't get any information, there's no personality, you don't understand anything about the environment or the person that you're photographing. So even without showing faces, I tried to show the story of the woman or of the girl, who she is, what is her hope, what was her story. I tried telling that. When we work on difficult stories, it has to take a toll on you emotionally, mentally, and I'm not the only one. We all get impacted, right? How I deal with it has changed over the years. I think initially, when I was working on such intense issues, it would affect me mentally. Sometimes I would cry. I think there was a point where I was pretty depressed, and then I also had a family tragedy to add up to that. So, and it was related to what I was working. So there were a lot of pent up anger, and I remember going to a friend who's much older than me, but she's a psychiatrist, and she told me that whenever you feel angry or you want to pour your you know emotions out, just take a piece of paper, take a pencil or pen, and just scribble, take out all your anger and frustration on that. So I think that helped. And over the years, I think I have trained my brain to be into different compartments. While I'm at the field, I'm completely focused. Again, very cliche to say that the camera helps to act as a shield. And a lot of photographers, say that, and it actually helps. And I tell myself that you're here for a reason, and you have to do this work and do this work properly. But having said that, there has been situations where I ended up crying or feeling extremely emotional or vulnerable. So sometimes I just come back to the car and cry, or just be there, get a breather, just drink some water, and then go back again. And sometimes I just work, and I come back home, and this is the room, this is the space, this is where I work, this is my office. So at night, when all my motherly duties, all my everything is done, I am a night owl. I work a lot at night. So at that point of time, when I'm alone here and I'm looking at the photographs, I'm editing, I'm listening to the audio interviews, I'm looking at the videos, that is the point of time where I think I emote sometimes. Just listening to the voices, sometimes I just start crying, or I feel something, and at that point of time, I make a call, mostly to my friends in US, because it's daytime there, and then I know that they are going to be available. So I make a call. I just talk to a close friend or something. That helps. And again, having a supportive family is helpful. My child is he's very entertaining, so that helps. And I watch a lot of ott, Netflix, and all some TV series, but I watch a lot of murder mysteries. But I enjoy that. So all those kind of things help. So all of our journeys are different, but at the end of the day, we are here because we are passionate, and we care, right? We care about things, we care about issues and subjects, and we want to say something through our visuals, through our images. So don't give up, you know, uh, keep going.